Hey, 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 thank you for tuning in to a special episode of the Interracial Perspective Maturity Not Included podcast, a place where we discuss a wide range of topics from any to everything, but most importantly, a place to be yourself. I'm LC, and joining me, as always, is my lovely co host, Aaron. Hey, Aaron.
Hey, LC. Welcome back, everybody.
Today, we are excited to have Phil, the Blerd Explorer, join us to discuss the release of his book titled The Black Traveler's Guide to Daegu, South Korea. Hey, Phil, and thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Hi. Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me. Also, by the way, it's pronounced Daegu.
Daegu. Okay, thank you for the correction.
No, it's fine.
So, before we discuss your book, why don't you tell us where you're from if you would like to?
Sure. I'm from South Carolina. Blackfoot, South Carolina. I left South Carolina back in 2016 after I finished my last semester at college in 2015, trying to find a job. And how I got into South Korea was, like as all seniors do in college, you're trying to find a job. You're looking up and down, sending interviews, sending resumes out, job fairs, couldn't find nothing. And then one day I came across this ad about teaching English in South Korea. So I looked more into that and decided to say, okay, let's give it a shot. And I've been here since May 2016. So this is my 5th year anniversary.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice. So that's where you're at now, then, correct? You're still in South Korea?
Yeah, so I'm still in South Korea right now.
So, why don't you tell us about your book and what made you decide to write it?
So the Black Traveler's Guide series I'm doing, this is my second book. It's really just like any typical travel guide you can find anywhere, but it's more from a viewpoint, from a Black perspective, I would say. The reason, in case anybody's asking, why does it seem like only Black people now, just be clear, anybody's welcome to read it. Anybody can pick up and read it. But the reason I focus on more from a viewpoint of a Black person's perspective, from person of African descent, is because when it comes to traveling around the world, especially in Asia, now I mentioned this in the book, like everybody's gonna get stared at. It's gonna happen. However, usually people with a darker complexion like me, I'm gonna get more looks than any white person would. So that's one reason. And plus, I also reaching for a demographic, particularly African Americans, because most of us typically don't travel abroad or don't. Of course, I mean, subject vary, but I think it's safe to say most Black people don't know many who's traveled abroad. I mean, the numbers have started to grow over the years, but growing up, I personally never heard anybody who's traveled or worked abroad that wasn't military. So that's one reason I kind of focus on that.
Oh, nice. So, and I know you kind of explained to us how you picked South Korea through the teaching, but what made you want to travel there, and how has your experience been so far?
While I was looking at South Korea, I also looked at the idea. So me personally, I always wanted to go to Japan as a kid, but I just, again, didn't know how to do that without doing military. So I was looking between, I was kind of doing a comparison between about doing ESO and other countries between China, Japan, and Korea. I settled on Korea because it had more, I guess, it's more well known at the time. This was in 2016. And also the fact that it had better starting pay, better benefits, like free housing and stuff. So that's what led me to that.
Oh, nice. And so as your experience been there, since you've been there for 5 years, has it been pretty good?
Yeah, it's been good. Mostly just working at terrible jobs, but yeah, terrible. Currently I work at a public school, elementary school, as an ESL teacher. During my whole time here, I worked mostly in what we call Hagwons, or private after-school English academies, through very mixed to terrible business owners, managers. Somebody tried to keep me out of money. I got fired. I got bullshit fired. And there were times I wanted to quit, throwing in the towel, but I didn't want to give up because I didn't want, one, I actually enjoyed living in South Korea, and two, I didn't want to seem like, oh, just because I had a bad experience doesn't mean I'm going to just run away and just, tuck my tail and run away. So I decided to keep going because I knew eventually I'll get something bigger and better, which I did eventually.
Right. So I know this is switching gears. So how's the food there?
Oh, it's pretty great. It's amazing. Korean food is amazing. Now, I do mention in the book that if you have things like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, you want to be careful because Korean food has a very high sodium count. A lot of food has high sodium. And also, I do mention, like, if you do have any type of food allergy, like nuts, all types of nuts and seeds, because Korean food also use like sesame oil, fish sauce, fish paste, seafood oils. If you're allergic to seafood in any capacity, you're going to struggle here.
Now, did you already have a taste for that type of food before you moved over there, or did you acquire it?
Beforehand, no. I never, before I made the decision to come here, no, I never had much opportunities to try, I guess, Korean food. So being from South Carolina, there wasn't many, Korean restaurant options, as you would say, like California, New York, or Atlanta, surprisingly.
Oh, okay. So how often have you traveled back to the States, or have you just stayed in Korea the entire time?
The first time I came back to visit family in Alabama was in 2019, February 2019. That was the only time I've been back since I left.
Oh wow. So that's what, one time in 5 years?
Yeah, one time 5 years, yes.
How does your family feel about you living abroad?
Well, originally some of them were scared because of what they saw on the news about North Korea. They're afraid that I might get caught in a conflict. There might be another war coming up around the corner. Over the years, they got comfortable, used to it. Some of them, like my sister, who got more close now, more than ever. She asked me one day, she was telling me one day how some of my family members was asking me if I'm ever going to move back to the U.S. And she said, hell no, he's not moving back. And she's right.
Oh, sorry, Aaron.
I was going to say, has anybody come and visited you over there?
No, I mean, we tried, like my sister and I, we tried to like set something up, but life got away from both of us. This is pre-COVID too, of course. So sometimes, I lost my job, she lost her job. So, times we wanted to do it, just, we kind of pushed it back.
Right. So have you met any like friends in South Korea?
Oh yeah, man, definitely more expat than Korean. It can be a little bit challenging to meet Koreans to make expat. I mean, sure, there's possibility, but over here, sometimes it feels as though if I meet friends with Koreans, it's like, okay, do they like me for me? Or we're gonna use it as a bragging right, as a prop to show up to their friends, Korean friends, and family, like, oh, I know a foreigner. Yeah, I have a foreigner friend, kind of like I have a black friend card type of thing.
Right.
Most of them I have met mostly through like gaming tournaments, like say Super Smash Brothers and Pokemon and things of that nature. So usually, I got some pretty good friends made from Pokemon particularly.
Oh, okay. So, Aaron, what was you finna say?
I was going to say, that's interesting. Is that a big part of your life, and you like to do that?
Funny enough, I never really got into tournament scenes. Well, I did a little bit more Smash Brothers in college. But Pokemon, I never done a tournament in my life till I came to South Korea. Mostly because most tournaments like those, sponsored by Nintendo, they tend to be pretty. I guess like the locations can be hard to reach because America's so huge, so sometimes you can't make those events. And of course, being in South Korea, being such a small country, I figure, okay, it's right there, so why not give it a shot?
Right. Right. So I know you mentioned that you like Japan. Would you ever go?
Yeah, I mean, I'll eventually go, but traveling Japan can be a little bit more pricey compared to Korea and other parts of Asia. So that's why I haven't really bothered trying to go there yet.
So is there anything particular about Japan or Japanese culture that fascinates you?
The land, history, anime.
Do you have a favorite anime?
One Piece, Naruto, Berserk. Jeez, so many. I'm reading so many stuff right now. I'm losing count. I'm reading Spy X Family, so I'm reading so many stuff right now.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, eventually I hit Japan. I guess one reason I haven't gone there yet because it's so close. So it's like, okay, why bother? I can literally go anytime. So it's like, there's no need to rush it.
So how long is the travels between South Korea and Japan?
Funny enough, you can start from the Busan airport, which is like located in the southern eastern part of the country. You can actually hit Fukuoka, Japan, like within the hour. Like this is like a 1 hour trip, or take a ferry there too if you want it.
Oh wow!
I never knew. About a 2 hour flight at most to Japan from Busan airport.
Oh, I didn't know that. So what advice or suggestions would you give to others who are looking to travel abroad to countries outside of their comfort zone?
For one, especially for any Americans, really. One, travel where you want to go to. If there's a place you always wanted to go to, you always want to try, just go for it. Don't be scared. Two, honestly, know your budget. Like, be realistic. If you always want to go to France, but France is more expensive. So I would say consider flying to another cheaper part of the country of Europe, and then maybe take a train ride there or plane ride to France. Will be cheaper. And again, always do your research, especially when it comes to visas. Because each country has their own visa rules and restrictions. Like for the U.S. or Americans, we have one of the best passports of the world. So we can literally go almost anywhere without having to apply for a visa. And of course, then especially if he's traveling to Asia, definitely, if you have food allergies, like you're probably gonna have a hard time. Even if you try to inform the vendors that you had like an allergy card saying, hey, I can't eat nuts, I can't eat this, you may still struggle. You're gonna struggle over here.
That's very good to know, especially for those that have allergies.
Now, I have a question. You just made me think of something. Do they find it offensive if you're in a restaurant and you're saying I can't have this, and that? Do they find it offensive?
Personally, I don't have food allergies, thankfully, so I can't really say that. Now, I'm pretty sure there might be a little bit of confusion because, again, food allergies is not very common over here in Asia, especially in Korea.
Okay.
So it's not taken as seriously as it is in the West. And not to mention, like, especially you go to like a local mom and pop shop, like they've been cooking the same recipe for years, the same ingredient. So there's still gonna be a high chance of cross contamination, even if you try to form them. So I wouldn't take that risk.
Oh, that's very interesting.
That's great advice too.
Right. And kind of to shift gears, and you can use some of your travel to answer these if you would like. But we'd like to ask you about 3 questions from some of our previous podcast episodes, if you're game for that. The first one is, have you ever experienced discrimination or racial profiling while traveling abroad?
Traveling, no. No, for me, like I'm a 6'7", 200 black man, so I get stared at all the time. Like, okay, I say this in my book too. Like, you know, black people, we're gonna get a lot of stare because, like, it's like basically I equated to like that scene in Jurassic Park when the dude took off his sunglasses to see the dinosaurs the first time. Basically, that's how I was like to be black while traveling. But now in terms of discrimination, is more xenophobic job. So, for example, this is in 2019. I was job hunting, looking for another English teaching job. My previous job, my current job, my job at the time, you know, I was about to leave, looking for another position. And I had a recruiter up straight up told me he was having a difficult time placing me, despite my qualification and experience. He was having a hard time placing me because some of the schools, the Hagwon English academies, they didn't want to hire a black teacher. And it's not a secret. Like that happens in Korea a lot. So it's not really a big secret to anybody. So I mean, to me, I wasn't hurt. I wasn't gonna cry about it. I'm like, okay, at least you're honest about it.
Right.
But you know, as towards why I haven't heard any answers yet. So what? And it's not really a big secret in Korea too. Like for ESL teachers, like if you're a white girl from America or Canada, you're gonna get more. I guess how can I say, like in terms of like, you know, job hunting, you're gonna get more advantageous. Like you're gonna probably get more job offers and more options than a black person who has the same or more qualifications.
Oh wow.
No, so it's not, again, that's not hurt me. I'm not crying about that because it's obvious. Unfortunately, there has been a lot of xenophobia towards all foreigners in Korea due to COVID, due to the pandemic. I've seen posts on Facebook of how some restaurants are posting signs saying no foreigners allowed in a restaurant because of COVID, because they think we have coronavirus. Despite the fact, strictly speaking, the majority of all the cases that occur in Korea are done by Koreans themselves.
So the next question that we have is, what are your thoughts on alternate timelines and doppelgangers? Have you ever thought you've seen someone that resembles yourself?
Yes, I'm pretty sure I have throughout my life 1 or 2 times. I thought it was creepy.
What was your reaction? Was it just like a double take? Like you couldn't believe it?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was like, wait, is that serious?
And then what about like alternative timelines? Do you believe in that? Or I guess maybe that's not the right way to phrase it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's bound to happen. Although it would be interesting to see like a portal gate to showing that, like showing, I don't know, Germany winning World War II or something like that. That'd be just crazy to see.
Isn't that kind of like what was that Amazon show, The Man in the High Tower, was about? Or
yeah,
no?
Yeah.
No, let me be clear. I'm not sure if I don't know.
That was the show. I know what you're talking about. I just never had a chance to sit down and watch it.
Yeah, I just remember it had something to do with the whole World War II or something. I don't know. But yeah,
I'm not well versed on that one. So another question is, do you have a most embarrassing moment?
Most embarrassing moment? I'm trying to think of one.
I would have to say it would actually be nice if no, because you know
I can't think of one on top of my head. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're fine if you don't have one. So, do you have any last words for the audience before we wrap up this special episode?
If regardless, so you're saying, Dylan, if you're scared to travel, I would say to any advice, especially any young person listen to me, like if you're finishing high school or college, my big advice to you, go somewhere else. Get out of your hometown as soon as you can, when you're able to, of course. Go live in another city, state, another country. Like go do things that you'll never do in your small hometown ever. If you're interested in buying both books, my two books, The Black Traveler's Guide to Incheon, Incheon, and The Black Traveler's Guide to Daegu. Daegu is Daegu. You can find them both on Amazon Kindle right now. Oh, and you can follow me on Instagram at the Blerd, 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 Blerd Explorer. So you will follow my stories, my adventures. and also hear when I do my next book.
Yes, so I guess that covers it, Aaron. So you guys can follow him, pick up his book. You can find it on Amazon and on Kindle. And Aaron, do you have any last words before we wrap up this episode with Phil, the Blerd Explorer?
No, it was great to meet you. We appreciate you joining our show and sharing your experiences and talking about your book. And go click that link and get that.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Phil, for coming on our show, as Aaron said, and sharing your experience. We really appreciate it. We hope that a lot of people learn from your experience and, again, are able to go out and travel and see what the world has to offer. With that said, everyone, thank you for tuning in to this special episode with the Blerd Explorer, who joins Aaron and myself of the Interracial Perspective Maturity Not Included podcast. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at LC and Aaron. That way you know when a new episode or interview drops. As always, stay safe, stay positive, and be true to yourself.